Just here at Goodison. Just here at Goodison Park, and we're here for the match preview for Everton versus Arsenal. And here to do so is Corey, who I believe looks like he's outside the Bramley-Moore Dock Stadium.
Yeah, I'm just loitering around, mate. Just trying to get my first glimpse, considering I couldn't even get any sniff of a bean of a ticket to any of the test events. So this is me just chilling around. Hopefully I can sneak inside.
Excellent. Moving on from the Merseyside derby, which was... It was one of those where I didn't feel as upset as I would have in the past because the game didn't... It wasn't like I felt like we were desperate for the points, hanging on a knife's edge. And also, it just... I don't know what it was. I just didn't feel as heartbroken by it. It was more just the kind of the frustration and the annoyance of the fact that Everton hit the post with Beto. Everton scored a goal which looked onside or at least level, and we didn't see the lines. And we, ironically, semi-automatic offsides have been brought in next week. And then for them to go and get a goal, which Tarkowski said in his interview, described it as because he knew he was there and he doesn't know he's offside, and because he's looking ahead at the ball, he can't tell that the guy behind him is offside. So he has to make an action to stop it going through. So it's clearly offside. And so that's the frustration, isn't it, really? That we went toe-to-toe with a team that's far more elaborate, and we kind of walked away with nothing more than anything, more than the hurt of a derby defeat.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, so look, they were the better on the board. They had all the domination. A lot of the issue came from us sitting back far too much in the second half, whereas at least the first half we were trying to catch them a little bit more, get a spring on them. I do think it's offside based on the rules, but the issue is them rules are then not correct, if you know what I mean.
No, he's onside based on the rules, but he's offside but in the real world. Yeah.
Any logical thinking person would say you're one yard away from the ball, 1 yard away from the man, offside. No, if Tarkowski leaves that, even if it is offside, he's getting absolutely berated. The best defenders in the world would have not left that to go for it, and he's influenced his action to do that. The ball's passed to him, but the letter of the law is, I don't think it is on offside, but it's just a ridiculous rule.
It's a very poor decision, and Liverpool's are winning the league off the back of, by default, of the teams not being good. But then when things like this are happening to them week in, week out, and they're getting away with it, it does seem... it's not a Liverpool show. It seems irritating that they're winning it without actually having to do much. And then from Everton's perspective, I think there was a lot of positives there we can bring into the Arsenal match, Corey. For some reason, we were quite clever when we were defending our own corners. We had some plan to kind of rob the ball and run up as fast as we could in numbers from their corners. Normally they do it to us. So I liked that. And Alcaraz is one of the players who holds up the ball and allows you to do that. And just in general, the defensive solidity and Beto as well, being able to show that he still can play off the shoulder and against all odds. So Arsenal's a different kettle of fish, Corey. They like to pass. But until they got these players back, Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, they were going nowhere with it. And they were quite boring in a way.
Yeah. And they're still missing a lot of players, aren't they, as well? I think Martinelli's pace is going to be important. But most importantly is Bukayo Saka, probably the best right midfielder in the Premier League. Better than his other competitors. So I think they had him to be back. Certainly, was he on the pitch less than 7 minutes and he scored midweek? He's an exceptional player. One thing I will take from that is Vitaly Mykolenko, just like he pocketed Mohamed Salah midweek. He's got a habit of doing this against players that want to go man for man and cut inside on the left foot. So hopefully it still works into Mykolenko's favour. But we just need a bit more width, to be honest, compared to the Liverpool game. It was there for us to do a little bit more. Like I said, I thought we'd done well in the first half. Second half were non-existent. It felt very much like a Moyes Anfield derby. You give it a go in the first half, shrink into yourself. Yeah, exactly. But I think we just need to show a little bit more width. I know it's difficult at the moment. Njai wasn't playing. There was no Lindstrom either. and Harrison on the right hand side. So we're just missing a lot of width at this moment in time, and I'd like us to maybe make better use of that, which hopefully NGI coming in may help us do that.
Absolutely. I think Arsenal, I've watched them, and I'll be honest, in recent weeks, more in hope that they would try and win some games and that Liverpool would drop points. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. Liverpool have found way past Man City, whether we can go into all the technical details and be really bitter about it, or we can just say that we are where we are. And Arsenal, they were boring. I was watching them. They pass side to side. There's no penetration. They're afraid to get the ball into the box. They're not putting the balls in the little pockets in the corner of the edge of the penalty space. You know, like David Silva used to do at Man City, that kind of pocket, the Leon Osman hole, if you like. And they never really looked like scoring. And then they brought Marino in, who scored a few goals, but when he's played the better opposition, has been comfortably dealt with. And I would expect Everton to comfortably deal with him, in all honesty, if he's playing up front for Arsenal. The problem with Arsenal, from what I can see, is the central defenders are very, very good. They're very quick, very strong. They're good on the ball. They basically step into midfield and play like central midfielders. And then they have the pace to get back, and they can defend when we've on. So they're very, very good. Bukayo Saka, he's very left-footed. He always wants to come on his left. I think we can beat Arsenal. I think we have to be aggressive on Bukayo Saka. He's just back from injury. Mykolenko with very clear instructions to go in hard, go in early, go in aggressive, and don't let this guy turn. When he does cut in on his left, can we have one of the midfielders coming across just to block that space to stop him shooting? I'm not too worried about the rest of them. I don't think Martinelli is at the levels he could have been. Yeah, Emma, I did have a ticket for tomorrow. I've just got rid of it. It was David's ticket. David from the channel. So there are some floating about. I don't think the 12:30 kickoff on Grand National does any favors to anyone. Stupid kickoff time. But yeah, I think we can do something tomorrow. I don't want to see Karius do the same thing and go, yeah, let's sit back in our shape. Let Arsenal have the ball, pass, and try and run up the other end. I think I want to turn them over a little bit in midfield. I want to make it difficult for them and try and offer ourselves. And I think we do that with Ndai. Bringing him in. I think we do that with dropping Doucouré for this match. I think there's big question marks over James Garner's input. I don't think this guy's been bringing anything to the table for weeks. So there are some question marks over personnel. Can we get more attacking impetus into the team? You can't leave Carlos Alcaraz out, and you can't leave Ndai out. So the two of them have to play. Corey, where'd you go with that team selection? And is there anything else you want to comment on the back of that?
No, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. And obviously, moving off the back of the press conference today, Njai is made it out okay. Whether he's going to start or not is probably the main question. I hope he does start, but it's a case of fitness. If he's fit, he goes back in that team. We know that he's probably possibly one of the first names on the team sheet.
Yeah.
I would like to go the 4-2-3-1. I want Alcaraz in the middle. I want Njai on the left. Obviously, the fact is there's going to be no Lindstrom. Apparently, they're going to send him off to see if he needs hernia operation.
He won't play again this season.
Yeah, I think that might be the case as well. So it's having that extra bit of width on the right hand side. But if we're going to have
Harrison the whole season without scoring again, who'd have fucking thought it? I'm not being funny, but who signs a guy who hasn't scored or assisted in an entire season and then expects him to come in and suddenly in the Premier League, when he's a lightweight, little nimble guy, suddenly start being Brazilian Ronaldo? Listen, I'd be surprised if he plays for Everton again, in all honesty, and I wouldn't sign him for the 20 million option. But you're right, there's a problem there, Corey. Then if you've got Alcaraz in the 10 and Ndai on the left, the problem with Jack Harrison is, you're asking him in the Anfield Derby to make something happen on the right wing. He's very left-footed, doesn't have a lot of pace. He's very, very good defensively. He's got a very good attitude and work rate, but his end product is tragic. Who do you put in on that right-hand side? Then is there an argument that listen, David Moyes tomorrow is going to play Alcaraz on the right. He's going to play Ndai on the left, and he's going to play Doucouré behind Beto. We know what he's going to do. Okay? But would you do anything different there on that right-hand side? Is it possibly Patterson in? Tell me what you'd do.
No, I wouldn't put Patterson in. I think what he will do is, I think it'll be Harrison on the right-hand side. I think it'd be Alcaraz and I think it'll be Decore because I don't think he's going to risk Njai. If it was me, I'd have Njai, Alcaraz, and I'd probably still have Harrison there because let him do the hard yards on that side of the pitch and let Alcaraz and Njai let loose. Let them be the creative forces, and just use Harrison because he's a wide midfielder. Just use him to stretch the defence. But obviously the lad they've got there, Lewis Skelly, he looks like a decent player for his age, but he's still inexperienced. And if we had someone who doesn't need pace, but if we had someone who was just a bit more intelligent and had a bit more about them, I think we'd be able to do something there. We certainly need pace on that left-hand side as well. Obviously, Timber got injured midweek, so I think the most likely candidate to start tomorrow is probably going to be Partey. He's played there before when needed in a pinch. He's not fast. He can step up into midfield. He's a smart player. But we need someone who's really like when Liverpool had Curtis Jones on the right. We need someone who's going to stretch him. Someone who just overload that left-hand side, or left there, right.
We haven't had the players.
Alcaraz will play on the left and he'll cut in.
I think the bare minimum of what Everton players have been doing is being very disciplined in their shape and organised and hard-working and aggressive. Going to another level is getting players who can do that, but also play football as well. And that's what Manchester City did when they won the league. They won the league time and time again. They had very, very good attacking players. But don't forget, they were brilliant defenders as well. Every single one of them, from Bernardo Silva, David Silva, because of the work rate, the tenacity, the intelligence of them, allowed them to still do that defensive work, but then control the game, control the ball, and do everything else. What Everton have got is a lot of players who do the defensive side, but then when they get asked to attack as well, can't do it. I think Ndiaye is one who can attack and defend. I think Alcaraz is one who can attack and defend. And I think we have too many players like Dwight McNeil and McNeil and Decore. Decore maybe does the defensive work, but offers very little going forward in the build-up. And in the final third, Harrison does the defensive work. But I think Jack Harrison will... listen, I don't like Jack Harrison. I think he's a nice guy, but I don't like him. I'm not being mean. I've obviously criticised him heavily, but I think if you stick him in a good team, maybe like the Ancelotti Everton of 2020 with Richarlison and James Rodriguez, with good players around him, he'd probably elevate himself and be more comfortable and be more dynamic and play with confidence. But in this Everton team where you're being asked to literally score wonder goals every week to create chances, it doesn't work. I think that's going to that another level. I would be sad to see Everton go to play Arsenal. And what I think will happen is we'll just sit everyone behind the ball. Arsenal will pass to get to death. We'll wait for them to break down their moves, and then we'll try and launch it forward quickly. But I think we just need a little bit extra. If we are doing that, which may work, Gabriel and what's his face, Saliba, they're very good at 1v1. They'll keep Beto in their back pocket with change to spare, I suspect. The only way that they will struggle is if they've got... Okay. And when was that?
Midweek. Yeah. I can't remember what's happened to him, but he's out for the season apparently.
Fucking hell!
So they put him out.
This is typical Arsenal.
Jared Timber's out.
I would never...
Yeah. So
the league's done.
I think. Yeah.
And Timber as well. This is the thing with Arsenal. They have so many injuries, and Liverpool don't have a single injury. And all they do is roll around on the floor and cry and moan and dissent the ref after already being booked and get away with it. But listen, Beto needs to go and play on the other centre half, then the one who's covering for Gabriel, because Saliba is a different kettle of fish. Go and pin on him, get Ndiaye narrow, tucked in. Let's just have a go at Arsenal. We've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I agree. We're not
only need one more win.
Yeah, we're not going to get relegated. Let's be honest. I'm just going to sneeze. I apologise.
Go on, enjoy. We could get relegated because we've got feasibly got 4 games in a row when we might not pick up a single point.
Yeah,
it's very unlikely. But
we need to. I don't think we're going to get relegated. I think it's a chance for us to play with a bit more freedom, or just to take more of a chance. maybe after this game, we'll probably see it a little bit more. Like I said, Njai's not a full fitness. McNeil, I think Moyes alluded to him potentially being able to come on and play a part in the game. So
Yeah,
I think we'll probably, like I said, we're going to sit back quite a bit in the second half. Maybe once they're a little bit frustrated, a little bit tired, pushing a bit higher up, bring on the likes of Njai, and bring on McNeil to maybe try and pick the defence apart. What I would like to see at that point now is Alcaraz still be on the pitch, because Blue Stu mentioned there him going off was the downfall against the Shite. Now, I actually think it wasn't so much him going off. It was the downfalls before that when he moved him over to the right-hand side.
yeah.
He's better on the left when he can cut in, but he's a central player. Every time he plays wide, he just drifts very, very, very centrally, makes us narrow, which is fine because it's where he wants to play. But using him out wide is where
Haven't
the
got a right
issue is,
winger.
especially when he's not able to cut in on his left foot. Yeah, he's
We
number
haven't
10.
got a right winger, have we? We need Nigel Farage at front. We are really struggling for. That's a terrible joke. We really.
Sorry, mate.
Why is it taking you so long to laugh at that?
It's just slow burner, mate. Slow burner.
We've got to do something. The thing for me is, Ndai has to start. Okay. Alcaraz has to start. This is how I do it. And then Branthwaite, O'Brien, Tarkovsky, Mikolenko, they all have to start. Okay. So you're looking at where I can play around with Beto or Brozier. There's an argument. If we're going to play possession football, Brozier is probably got more technical ability to make chances and make things happen. I'm gonna come up with something really bold here. I'm gonna play Brozier on the right. Okay. I'm going to play Ndai on the left, and I'm going to play Alcaraz, and I'm going to play Better, and I'm going to have 4 of them. Those 4, we're going to, because Corey, you're breaking up a little bit, but I think Everton have got the players to create chances and to play possession football. If they've got McNeil, if they've got Ndai, if they've got Alcaraz, if they've got Brozier, they've got players. Oh, you're getting big lag. I'm getting big lag from you. Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
Is that any better? Hello?
I can hear you clearly. Yeah, that's better, mate.
The issue
Let me know
I have,
if there's an issue from my side of things.
You went a bit fuzzy, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm liking my setup. The way I can see it in my room, I sound clear. I've got this backdrop. My face is in frame and well lit. I'm quite happy with this, but I don't know whether you're seeing something completely different to me.
It's been like the setup and everything like that is fine, but you've just been stopping, lagging, speeding up, and things like that. Could be me, could be you.
Could be me.
It's all good
could
now.
Be you.
Yeah, but you're all good now. Smooth.
Okay, the point I'm making, because I'm in the loft. I'm on the 3rd floor, so I've had to plug into the Ethernet. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I think Everton. This is up to David Moyes. I think he's got the players to play a technical game. He's got McNeil back. He's got Ndai back. Alcaraz. He's got Irabunum. He's got Brozier. He could go and play a technical game. He's also got the players to play the aggressive game, Decore, Garner, and do all that boring shit again. No one really wants to see the donkey in midfield and Jack Harrison chasing back at right wing back. He can do what he wants. I think we need a hybrid system here. What about Brozier on the right? Out of possession, you're defending from right wing. In possession, you can come close and narrow behind Beto. Same with Ndai. When you're defending, you're left wing back. Out of possession, get close. I think it's too risky. It's never happened in a million years. We're going to see Jack Harrison and Decore and what's his face. But you can't leave out Ndai. You can't leave out Alcaraz. You can't leave them out. But then they've only just played on Wednesday night. Tuesday night, was it Wednesday night? So I don't know what to say. What do people in the comments think?
See, I don't think the issue is them being able to. Yeah, let us know. I don't think the issue is, like I said, I think it may become a little bit too soon for us to play that way. And Jai, I think, will come on probably later on, maybe 50, 60 minutes. And I think McNeil might come on for the last 15 or something like that, based on what I got from, I interpreted from the press conference from David Moyes. I think we'll try. I like what you say, and there's a couple of times that I've been a proponent of having Brozier on that right side of midfield where we struggled a little bit, because what you can do, like you've mentioned, you can go to 4-4-2 if you want to. Decore can drop into the central midfield role. Instead of him being the second striker, he drops into the central midfield. Garner can shift over to the right. And then just when you attack, Brozier can come central, play the target man, better on the flick on. I think that's a possibility. But I do think he's going to go defensive in terms of Harrison on the right, probably Alcaraz, probably Decore. And then later on in the game, maybe try and go for it if we're still in it.
That's an interesting one. So Decore stays in there as the 10 and Dye stays on the left and Brozier's the right winger. But when we need to, Brozier joins in to the attack. James Garner drifts to the right. Decore sits in the build. And Jake O'Brien, it's a little bit unbalanced, but I kind of get what you mean. If you had someone like Kevin De Bruyne who could like cross the ball and kind of do all that sort of stuff, then that makes sense. He drops across to the right and floats the balls in. But it's James Garner. I'm starting to worry. I don't see anything in this guy. I think he's crap. Is someone saying something? I'm not seeing with him anymore.
No, I know where you're coming from. I don't think he's an exceptional player. I think he's a player that this is very much his level where he's at now. I'd like to see him improve a little bit more, but this is a level. He's a solid player. He's anonymous. The previous Moyes regime, he'd be a squad player. He'd very much be a squad player. He'd come in, he'd be useful, but he wouldn't be starting week in, week out.
Yeah,
he's exactly. Anonymous. Very much. Yeah. So I think come in the summer, look, if there's an opportunity to get someone there who's dynamic in central midfield, fantastic. But it's probably not the priority. I think there's a lot of other positions where his hard work will still fit in. So I think we'll be focused on other positions at that point. I can see him stay for another season and either get demoted the year after or leave at that point, maybe when Harrison Armstrong maybe starts to get better in more and more.
It's probably easier to evolve this team and turn it into like a crossing wingers team by signing like a left back and a right back as your first two signings. And then maybe someone who can play on the right, who can tuck in, link the play, and then a centre forward if someone else is going. But yeah, I mean, I liked James Garner when he's right, quite tenacious, like reading situations and covering and getting his foot in. But when I watched him in some of the recent games, I thought he's really lightweight. He's not that quick. He's not that good on the ball. He's not creative. Am I missing something? I think maybe Idrissa Gana Gueye just is a hard player to play with because he's that level above. He's light years ahead of him.
He was unreal again midweek. See, what I was hoping, what I was wanting was for James Garner to maybe be somewhat of a natural successor to Garner, not just because of the name. Look, he can pass a ball to a certain level, maybe not to Idrissa's level, but his ability to cover the ground and do the yards is similar to what Idrissa would do. So I was hoping that maybe from playing with him, he'd learn from him and become a better player in that regard. But like you said, he does put the graft in, but he is lightweight. He is lightweight. He's not quick in the tackle, and his passing at times leaves a lot to be desired. I think he's got a good pass on him, but I don't think he shows it consistently enough to the point where that is his game.
Corey, predictions then for Arsenal. We've run out of time, unfortunately. What are you saying tomorrow?
I am saying I'm going to go for a 1-0 to Everton. You know, like I said, hold on for about 70 minutes, and we're going to get a late goal and put another nail in the Arsenal coffin. Unfortunately,
give the shite the title, but I think it's already done.
At least we do it on our terms.
Yeah, get it wrapped up. Make it a damp squib that no one cares about. It's already done.
That's it.
Asterisk it, and yeah. I'd like to think. I think it stinks, unfortunately, of a draw because Everton have been on a bit of a slump with results. You can see it has tailed off. The several draws in a row, and now the defeat. Just build us up, keep things moving along. Hopefully, you can get a point here, a point maybe at Chelsea, and a point at at City. 3 points in those 3 games would be decent just to get us over the line. But I'll be honest with you, Corey, I just want the season over with. I'm bored of it. I would like to see us play some decent football and get some wins and Goodison off with a bang. The only 2 games that I'm really mad for are the Ipswich and Southampton games. Corey, would you lose every single other game if it meant we won the Ipswich and Southampton games? If I offered you that now?
No, because I think we can win more than that. I think we should win more than that. And I think
Okay.
I think we should go into every single game thinking that if it's a difficult team, we'll battle for the draw at least and snatch something. And if not, anyone lower than third, in fact, anyone lower than second, because even Forest are a good team, but we should still be able to battle. We should be going to every single game thinking that
I'm going to that.
we're going to do something there.
I just realised I've got a ticket. I don't really fancy going down to Forest, 2-hour drive. Just get dicked by Anthony Ilanga. And I should have put a warning on this video at the start. I might have to retrospectively do it because my language has been appalling. Corey, pleasure. Thank you so much. I've got to go back. As you know, I've got a young baby. I've got to go to the supermarket now at 7:10 at night. And I'm working tomorrow for Grand National. So I've got to move on to other things. But Corey, a pleasure as always. Thank you for bringing me wonderful analysis and friendship. And are you doing any coverage tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be doing coverage tomorrow. Certainly a post-match. I believe there may be a pre-match, but I think it's Chris and Chad on that tomorrow, I believe.
On pre?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I will be there. Certainly a post-match. If needed, I'll be there for the pre as well. You can always count on me. Yeah,
you should definitely jump on both of them. We'd love to see you. See you soon, Corey.
Peace out, up the Toffees.